You're damn right. It's metal time. TJ Lewis from Fort Bode.
Yay!
It sure as hell is. It is. Oh, almost. You know what I almost did right there, Carcass? Almost did the Metal Rob show.
I knew it. I knew it.
We are back. It is episode 189 of the Metal Roundtable. I am Metal Rob, and with me, as always, is the great
Carcass John.
And this dude, man, I can't believe he still hangs around with us.
Tony Clem.
Yeah, why not? I got nothing better to do, right?
He's got. That's what the Post said. Did you read that?
You got nothing better to do? Okay.
Yeah.
I
said, hang out with us and talk about perfect
albums. Talk about metal, yeah.
Not like you've got anything better to do.
What else am I going to do?
That's right.
Work.
That's right. Before
That's the only thing I got to do, work.
I want to tell you a couple things. I know that one of our viewers, at least, is involved at MediaTek because I saw a post from MediaTek today and I saw him in the video. So I'm pretty stoked about that. So he will remain nameless in case that's what he wants. But yeah, mediatek.edu, they are a sponsor of ours. If you want to get into all things AV, media, editing, production, all that kind of stuff, go to mediatek.edu with campuses in Dallas and Houston. Follow me on Instagram at Metal Rob's Records. Follow Carcass on Instagram at Carcass John Art. You can find Scott Waters on Instagram at No Life Till Metal. And also you can find him on YouTube by just searching Scott Waters, and he's got a badass metal channel there. So
with 8 million followers.
With 8 bazillion followers. That's correct. Oh crap. I'm hitting all the wrong buttons. Being unexpectedly out last week has got me hitting wrong buttons.
You're out of practice already.
So let's run through. Yes, it is metal time. TJ.
It is metal time, TJ.
Grego is here on time. What is up, metal guys? Yes, we are here. Glad to see you. Hello, Brian McFadden. Tony, I'm surprised you haven't said Osric Tentacles yet.
But wait, there's more.
And no baloney Anzalone. What is shaken? We are going to talk about, without regard to genre. Obviously, we'll lean hard rock and metal, but we are going to talk about perfect albums today. But before we get to that,
in our opinion.
Yeah. In our opinion,
because this is an argument.
Isn't our opinions? Isn't that law?
The saw is the law, Scott.
Is law, right?
But this is true.
You just gotta, if you shout it loud enough.
Oh, geez, he already started off with one I forgot.
It's correct.
Brian McFadden. Brilliant record.
Tony, I figured I'd beat you to the punch today.
Tony, you have no idea what I'm about to do to this show.
Down there, that one.
You have no idea what I'm about to do to this show.
Oh, I think I do. So, before we get started, I want to do shout outs like we usually do. Sometimes I forget, but I would like to start if that's cool. And it's not really a shout out. It's just, this is going to come off as bragging, and I don't want it to. But I am working on something right now that I am so excited about that Girder Records is doing. Man, if you haven't hit the pre-sale up for the Brother Kane reissues, you need to get over to Girder and you need to get on board and grab that. And I am listening today to the music that I will be working with, and I am really, really pleased. I am so excited about this. So shout out to Girder and Greg. I appreciate your confidence in me working on this stuff. It means an awful lot, along with several of the other labels that I do work for. But man, Greg is hitting home runs with his releases, and it's just good stuff. And so is Matt, and so is Bill, and all the dudes. The Eonian guys are just knocking it out of the park. And so proud to work on all that. But man, this Brother Kane has a special place for me and I just can't wait to see this thing through to completion over the next few days or couple of weeks or whatever. But anyway, that's my
Vinyl,
shout-out to
CD,
Greg
and
Turner
cassette,
and Brother Kane.
right? Vinyl, CD, and cassette,
Yes.
and all remastered. The CD has a couple of tracks never heard before. I don't know if I just broke a bubble I wasn't supposed to break, but there it is. I mean, it is
At
up
least
for
a dozen
presale.
people know now.
It is up for pre-sale. So, you can go to girdermusic.com and grab it. He's got a special edition that he's selling on his website. There will be copies eventually in the stores as well, but they will not be the special edition that you see on his website currently. So there
Swedish
you
meatballs. Cool.
Yeah, dude, it's I'm
Okay, so admittedly, and you just by looking at my shirt, you can probably tell I've never heard a Brother Kane song in my life. Or if I have,
yes, you have.
You have.
Okay. Well, you'll have to read.
There's no way you could escape a couple of songs that you
Would
couldn't
they
get
be
away from it on
would they
classic
be
rock
like
radio.
a early Z-Rock band or something?
No, it was more of a
Classic rock.
yeah. Classic rock vibe, but in the 90s. I would say hard rock vibe, but with a classic rock slant to it.
And a bit of a southern vibe.
Yeah, but you definitely have heard Got No Shame. You
Got No Shame is a
heard
huge
Hard
hit.
Act to Follow.
Okay.
There's a couple 3 tracks that.
Well, let me rephrase that. I don't own one Brother Kane.
Well, that may change.
Not yet.
That may change. What you got, Carcass?
Well, I'm going to shout out Nils Johan Odegaard for popping in. I know that it's really early it's really late over there in Norway, I think. But he hit me up about the crypt, and I sent him an episode, and it was pretty much geared towards the Norwegian slant on things. And oh wow, I see you got Fraser here. Other than that, I don't really have any shout outs except for anybody want to take a crack at it?
Hang on. Now lean closer.
It's just way too small for me.
Yeah, I'm
blowing it up. Hang on. HYR.
Harbuntia.
That's awesome. No, they're a band from Denmark called Hyperdontia. And I never thought I would own one of their shirts, but I've been playing their stuff on the crypt and actually got a response. So,
well, now they're called Harbuntia.
Harbuntia. Oh, well, of course, Francisco from Joaba would know who they are, dude, and of course, T.G. Lewis would.
That is still the greatest show name ever.
Joaba.
Yes.
Did you see his get up today? I would never slow dance with that dude. He's like wearing fully strapped leather with nails like this long.
Yeah.
That was the funniest thing I've seen in a while.
Dude, his Photoshop work cracks me the hell up, man. It is so great.
So welcome aboard, Francisco. And you too, Fraser Dawson, king of the poser frontier.
Yep. Scott, what about you?
I'm going to shout out Anger is Art.
Oh yeah.
Steve Gaines project with Rob. Let's see if I get the names right. Rob Alanes from is that how you pronounce his name? From Evil Dead?
I don't know.
Yeah, anyhow. I'm gonna look it up because I want to be right, archives. But yeah, their new album, which is killer thrash metal, is coming out. It's going on sale really soon. It's not on sale yet, but it will be on soon. It will be on sale really soon. Vinyl and CD. Very, very small run of vinyl, but it's quite possibly could be thrash album of the year. We'll see. It's really that good.
Ooh.
I mean, what are you going to say when you got two of the main dudes from Evil Dead and then Steve Gaines from,
that's
Albert Gonzalez, that's the other guy's name, and Rob Allen is from Evil Dead, and then of course Steve Gaines from Abattoir and
That's pretty much a
Bloodlust and-
recipe for thrash disaster, which is a good
Yes.
thing. That's a good thing.
it's brutal. So
Yeah.
anyhow,
That's
this is one of those I don't know what you call it, plastic stickers,
die cut
vinyl
sticker.
vinyl die cut
Okay.
stickers that are be going free to the first 50 pre-orders, I believe.
I would
Sweet.
like
So,
to have
anyhow.
one of those.
And Tony
Yeah.
Clem.
Hey,
see that- go ahead.
I was
I'm
going to
sorry.
Rob. Yeah. But yeah, there's only 50 of the stickers pressed, but first 50 orders get them when they go on sale. So anyhow, I'm excited about that, but I'm also excited about, and it hasn't even been announced yet, but I don't care. I'm allowed to say, the Warner album, which is Heathen's Rage, post Heathen's Rage material. So it's got, the CD has 9 tracks of Heathen's Rage recording new material after they broke up in 1989, I think it was, or 88. I think it was 88. In any case, and it's also got 4 Rob Warner solo tracks on it, so it's pretty fantastic. I'm
good.
really digging it, so I'm excited
Yeah.
about it.
And
It's called After the
killer-
Rage.
It's killer melodic hard rock.
Yeah, the
Killer.
Warner stuff is melodic hard rock. The After the Rage stuff is just, I don't know, US heavy metal.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
It's not the speed metal thrash that they were doing, early on in the 80s. But it's still really well done. And of course, I just think that Bob Pizarro is just a world-class vocalist.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's
So-
I was very pleased when I heard it. And I like the Heathen's Rage stuff that we've worked on. It's all cool. But when I heard that, I was like, whoa, wait a minute, this is different. And that's a little more up my alley because that's the kind of stuff I like. But man, it was good. So
Yeah,
What
the Warner
kind of
stuff
good
is
shit?
the Warner stuff is definitely more up your alley because it kind of has that Dokken kind of vibe,
exactly right. Yeah. Speaking of, they have a new single out. Has anyone watched the video yet? I would like to know your thoughts.
I sent it to you. Didn't I send it to you?
I can't remember. I've seen it.
Who hasn't
several
who
times.
has any single Dokken?
Dokken.
Dokken, yeah. It's called.
No, I haven't seen it.
Fusion.
Is it any good?
Well, I love Dokken. I'm of the opinion that people are going to bag on him because of his voice. They're going to bag on him. People are going to bag on the video a little bit, I think, and I'm not gonna bag on it because I don't really care about videos one way or the other. Depending on, I don't know. That was a broad statement.
Fugitive?
I just want to hear the song. I want the song, and I'm of the opinion more music is better than no more music by your heroes. And so, yeah, Don's nobody's the way they were in the 80s, or at least with very few exceptions. But I love Don Dokken's voice. I always have. Even I really like the later albums too. And this just is the next thing that makes sense that Dokken
So
would put out.
who's all in the band now? I
Him.
mean, it's him.
Yeah, and John Levin has been playing guitar for him forever, probably 20 years. George Lynch still joins them on stage a lot and plays 2 or 3 songs. But then there's when I saw him last time, I think, and I may be mixing up bands, I think maybe Jimmy DeAnda was on drums. I don't remember. And the bass player, I feel bad. I don't remember his name, but he's been with them for a little while now. So Frazier, you are my hero, dude.
Well, I'm
But-
jealous. Tony Clem just saw Deceased and Mortician on Saturday. Profantica, yeah, but Deceased and Mortician,
Did you get hacked up for Bobby Q?
yeah, that would have been nice.
Yeah, that would have been. I'd like to see them. That would be fun.
BJ Zampa. That's who's on drums.
Oh, okay.
I just looked it up real quick.
Brian
Ex Ingve
McFadden, I
Malmsteen,
think you're-
ex Driver,
I
ex
like,
House of Lords.
I think you're
Oh, yeah.
correct, Brian McFadden. Yes, the guy's a George Lynch doppelganger style, and he is great live. I've seen him so many times from 2 feet away, and he just kills it.
Hey, so before we get into this pile of perfection here, TJ saw Pantera a few weeks back. Anybody got tickets? Anybody interested in paying thousands and thousands of dollars for?
I would like to see it. I think it would be cool. I just simply, uh, yeah, I'm just careful about spending that much money on stuff. You
Well,
know,
hey, I'd be interested to know, TJ, did they have anything going on the side stage? Because I know that some of the East Coast shows they had Overkill playing on the side stage, which is a travesty and a blessing. And down here they've got 200 Stab Wounds and Tribal Gaze playing the side stage in the parking lot before the show on Saturday, and I don't know what's happening on Sunday. And then they're having something at the south side with Fugitive, which is formerly Power Trip, Tribal Gaze, 200 Stab Wounds, and somebody else. As I guess if you have a ticket to one of the shows, you get in for a discount or free or something. But there's a whole mess going on downtown Dallas this weekend, and you'd probably do good to stay away.
yeah, I just don't want to. I don't want to fight crowds that big. I've been to a few stadium shows, even shows in sheds outdoors. I'm like, they're okay, but I don't really. I'm not a big fan of the humongous outdoor arena festival kind of. I don't know, but I'd like to see. I'd like to see them. I think it'd be cool. I'd like to see Metallica too.
Well, okay. I just
But
wondered
yeah,
how it sounds because, the last time I remember really seeing them was they had Skid Row opening up, and I hate to be the I hate to even be controversial in saying that Skid Row just absolutely killed it.
they
They
did.
were in rare form, and I don't know. I would never say that Skid Row's better than Pantera, but they were that night.
Yeah, I saw that show. That was over at the State Fair Coliseum, I think. Gosh, that's 30 years ago.
Gosh, I'm trying to think of it. Sam Houston Coliseum. I think one of my workout partners, Jared Barnes, was with me, and I don't remember. Man, it's so muddled, and I've seen so many shows. It's hard to put a date and time unless I wrote it down. But
Yeah.
anyway, all right. Well,
Well, let's kick into it, man. So today we're going to talk about perfect albums in our opinion. These are not like top 10 lists. We're just going to scatter shoot about what we think are perfect albums. And I'm going to throw one out just for fun. I think this is a softball that a lot of people will agree with. In fact, I'm going to throw out two. I think two perfect thrash metal albums are Master of Puppets by Metallica and Rust in Peace by Megadeth.
I wouldn't
okay,
argue with either one of those.
Cool. Is the show over? All right. Well, that's
okay,
fun.
yeah, we can go now.
All right.
Okay, if you're throwing out thrash,
And
then
I'll start throwing some comments up. You guys get after it because I didn't.
okay, here, how about this? Well, since you said thrash, I'll throw out two.
I cannot argue with that.
Anybody?
Won't argue with either one of those either.
Oh, TJ, the Queen Stephra is going to kill me for not saying Typo Negative October Rust. I do really like that album, by the way.
Hey, Brian, I used to have two test pressings of the Asia album.
Oh, yeah. And there was a fight in the parking lot over that, and I lost. I lost to a bigger opponent with a fatter wallet. Hey, and Hey, and since TJ already did this, I'm going to throw it up there.
I like the first one, Grego. And you're right. That is a perfect album.
I never thought that 90s death metal could be any better. And then this thing came along, and this thing absolutely destroys, featuring the mighty Sawblade on vocals, who's been in Blaspherian, Filth Hounds, and other bands. And also members of Insect Warfare, Oceans of Slumber, PLF. I mean, this thing is top notch, start to finish. It's recorded on 2-inch tape, so it sounds authentic, and it is. I could put this on a loop and never be disappointed. So
Yeah, that thing is brutal. And I'm not a extreme metal fan. That thing rules. Okay.
I almost would. I like that one, Scott. I like Sanity Obscura a little bit better, but both of those are just like flawless.
Yep. I didn't actually pull that one. I just had it next to my desk, but since you were talking thrash, I thought I'd pull that one out. But let me pull a different one out.
Coming in with Power Mad and some newer stuff.
Nightmare Logic by Power Trip, both great records.
Is that the one with Swing of the Axe on it?
Yep.
Or Executioner's Tax?
Yep.
How about
love that album.
Here's my second one.
Hard to argue. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to be able to argue these, because I think we all have I think we all have some pretty good records in our collection, but man, that thing is
it's heavy, it's death metal, but it's also melodic.
Yeah, so you guys are going to hate this. So I've known about that album since it came out. I never paid attention to it. When I was living in Wyoming, some dudes just always had that around, but I never paid attention. Got the CD the other day, listened to most of it, did nothing for me, and I felt bad because I wanted to love it.
It's something you kind of have to regurgitate a few times, and once they're kind of like Opeth. Once you hear this, once you kind of understand what they're trying to do, then I think it's easier to swallow. But if you don't like it, you don't like it. I mean, I had, and speaking of which, Pale Communion may be one of my top 20 records of all time. I mean, they've done other things, and they started off as just a complete brutal Swedish death metal band, but this thing is Deep Purple playing jazz fusion, and it's so good. I mean, it's the production is impressive, and man, is it ever a great record. But since Fraser threw this up there, I'm going to throw this up.
Yep.
Anybody?
Steven,
I don't have any. I love that Overkill album. I mean,
yep. Start to finish, I think that this might be the top dog for me. Well, it is. I gave it a 10.
I will say on
danceable and
on the Operation Mindcrime one, in my opinion, that was the beginning of the downward spiral for Queensryche. I know people love that album, but to me, I'll take the first three over Operation Mindcrime any day of the week.
I love the first EP.
I think you could.
Me too.
Yeah, I think they had a lot of perfection in their early career, but I think Operation Mindcrime is absolutely flawless. And I'll do you one better. I think Rage for Order is a flawless album. Absolutely.
I love Rage for Order. Operation Mindcrime, I'm probably not. Nobody's going to agree with me, but I find it kind of boring.
I agree with you.
There you go.
Operation Mindcrime.
Yeah, I mean, I was a huge fan of the EP. I bought it as a new release. I bought The Warning, loved it, thought the production was lame, but I loved the music and all the songs. I mean, it was pretty much an extension of the EP, despite the weaker production. And then when they came out with Operation Mindcrime, I was like, this is not doing it for me at all.
Yeah, I was a little thrown off by it, especially I saw a Queensryche opening for Loudness at the backstage in Houston, and I thought, wow, where did these guys come from? It was pretty impressive, and then it just seemed like they just kept stepping down. You know what I mean? The Warning was decent, the next one was okay, and then Operation Mindcrime, and I just thought, wow, I don't know what happened to that band that completely tore my head off.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
that's the way it was for me too.
And
I think a lot of it is when you discovered them. I mean, I just, my first song here in Queensryche was Queen of the Reich, and I was just like, jaw on the ground. The vocals, the guitar solo, everything about that song was just like,
incredible. I had never heard them before, didn't know anything about them, and they came out on the stage, and that's what I heard, and I'm like,
I think I heard The Warning first, and then got the EP, and then heard everything else as it came out, and I just thought it kept getting better up through Mindcrime. Mindcrime is just so perfectly executed, in my opinion, and it was cool that it was a story. And then you went and saw the tour, and they did the whole thing with the video going in the background, and I just thought it was flawless.
Well, and
But
here's
you guys can
controversy.
be wrong and still be on the show. That's okay.
Right. Well, and
It's just
here's controversy about Queensryche, and it's probably going to blow your mind. I actually like Empire.
I like
Yeah,
Empire.
Empire's good.
I think that's a flawless record too. It's
I think
very
it's better than
commercial.
Mindcrime.
I think it's very commercial,
Whoa.
really good.
Yep. But I also think the first 3 albums are better than, including the EP, are better than Mindcrime as well. So
I'm gonna
Mindcrime
have
to
to
me was
look
just
up the
okay.
broadcast.
Hey,
Anyhow.
Rob, we talked
Oh,
about
dude. Yeah.
we talked
Razor.
about this. Razor,
We did.
Open Hostility. I had Violent Termination in my hand, and I listened to both of them today, and I thought this thing sounded better for some
I wanna
reason.
agree-
But
I want to agree with Mark Fields. I didn't think about that one, but Trouble's first album, absolutely.
untouchable.
I also think their 4th album, also self-titled, is flawless as well.
Is that the Rick Rubin production one where they're all standing
Yes,
there in
they're all standing in
old
front of
garden?
Yes.
Yeah, that
Damien-
is a good one.
Damien Hair Metal said Kiss Kiss. I love that album, but
Dress to Kill.
no, Dress to Kill maybe over top of the. I don't know, man. I love the first Kiss album, but I'm just trying to remember. As I recall, there was one song in there I always thought was kind of a clunker.
Kiss in Time.
No, because that was an afterthought that was added after the album came out.
How about Rock and Roll Over?
Dude.
Rock and Roll Over. One I almost pulled that out, but I was thinking we were staying like mostly metal on this one, so I didn't pull any of the kind of hard rock stuff out. Love Theme from Kiss. Or is it Kiss in Time? Kiss in Time and Love Theme from Kiss. Those are the 2 songs that kind of like sore thumbs on that first Kiss album. Not that I don't like them, they just don't seem to fit. I mean, I've listened to them since I was a kid, so I can't say I don't like them, but
Okay,
anyhow.
Mark Fields is a very knowledgeable person, and I think I had Violent Restitution in my hands, and I opted for Open Hostility only because I had it closer to the proximity to the desk. So he may be right there.
Yep, almost pulled out Iron Maiden 2, but I did not. That
This-
and Killers
is
and
perfect.
Peace of Mind.
That's
Yeah,
the
Peace of Mind.
perfect Iron
If I had to
Maiden
pick the perfect Iron Maiden album, that would probably be it.
And why
And
isn't
it's not even just, in my opinion, a perfect Iron Maiden record. It's a perfect heavy metal record.
is that the one with Die With Your Boots On?
Yeah.
Absolutely is. Flight of Icarus
If you're
is
gonna
not
put
Flight of
together
Icarus.
10
Read the songs on there.
I will. If you're going to put together 10 or 20 albums in a box set of This Is Perfect Heavy Metal to hand to somebody, this goes in there. Where Eagles Dare, Revelations, Flight of Icarus, Die With Your Boots On, The Trooper, Still Life, Quest for Fire, Sun and Steel, To Tame a Land. Perfect.
Okay, you're right. I would have thought it was a Power Slave, but the 13-minute song probably throws everybody for a loop.
It's good.
I also agree with where'd he go? Oh, we lost him. He went away here. I'm going to go back up again here. Damien Hair Metal said the first Van Halen as well, and although I think that album is so overplayed, I can't argue with it.
No, it's yeah.
Man, I like
And
the
then
second
TJ
one.
Lewis comes in with the winner.
Up. Say what you will.
How many copies?
I like
of
Lonesome
that do
Crow.
you have?
How many copies of Lonesome Crow? Dozens.
I
This
think I have
is the
3 or 4.
Japanese pressing, obviously, and this is the Brain / Mercury / I don't know. Anyway,
So Fraser's got me onto something that I was going to ask you guys at the beginning of the show when we started the topic. So I know Fraser's a huge Tony Martin fan, and I think that Headless Cross is a great album. But let me ask you this. Is there a perfect Sabbath album?
yes.
Yep, there's several of them.
Okay, let's hear it. Because
Mob Rules, Heaven and Hell, Master Reality.
Slow your roll there, boys.
Black Sabbath.
Not a
I
bad
just
song. This whole thing. This is like Lonesome Crow for me. I listen to this thing once a month minimum, but I can just go upstairs and listen to that whole stack. I have a stack that's actually like that. Needless to say, this is one of the ones that I grew up on. This is the actual album that I one of the first albums that I actually purchased when I was, let's say, a little younger than I am now.
What about Osmo Tentacle?
Well, I was going to save it for last, but I have the perfect Osric Tentacles record. Hang on.
Which one is it? I need to see that because I need to make sure I have it.
Hang on.
I have
Hey,
one that I'm
Mark.
curious.
Mark,
I have
is
one
that
I'm
the
curious.
one we fixed? That Suffocation album? Unofficially fixed?
Okay, here I have the perfect Osric Tentacles album
Oh, boy.
right here. It's.
Oh, boy.
I guess if I had to pick one, Scott,
Tyler, correct.
this is the one I heard that got me hooked on them, Strangitude. And you have that one, don't you?
I do.
Okay. So if you have
I want that
one,
compilation. I want that compilation you made for me again.
I have it, but I'm telling you right now,
Uh-oh.
this is a top 5 live album ever. This holds up against Made in Japan, Live Evil, that Dream Theater Live at the Marquee, Grand Funk, maybe even Thin Lizzy, but this thing is killer. So I think all the Osrics are 10. I know that's silly, but is it?
I think so.
They're my favorite band, so what can I say?
Nothing.
Hey, thanks for asking.
I would
Ostrich
agree with.
testicles.
I would also agree with Screaming for Vengeance. I put that right next to the Iron Maiden record that Rob pulled in that put it in that box of perfect albums to introduce someone to metal. I think Screaming for Vengeance is like a blueprint for heavy metal. The funny thing is I've actually in the last couple months I'm on this board called Mofos of Metal, which there's a lot of young metal fans on there. There's a lot of people on there, period. But some of the posts are ridiculous. But there's actually people on there arguing. I mean, people argue with me all the time about the 70s bands not being metal. Now there's guys on that board arguing that Iron Maiden aren't heavy metal. They're just melodic rock. They never tried to be heavy. And I'm not kidding. Judas Priest, they're just a classic rock band. They're not heavy metal. I'm serious. Saxon, that's just melodic rock.
Yeah.
You need to
see, it's all relative. I mean,
board.
this was classified as heavy metal at one point in time.
It sure was in 1970s.
I think
it sure was.
I think that whole middle section of the Deep Purple catalog is like in Rock or Fireball or Who Do We Think We Are or Machine Head, up all the way up to Made in Japan.
Burn.
I think are near perfect records.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and Burn. Yep.
Stormbringer even is a good one.
I tried to explain this to some of those guys on the board when they just argue. No, it doesn't matter what you say, but I'm like, if heavy metal didn't exist in the 70s, and we had a new wave of British heavy metal in the 80s, why'd they call it the new wave of heavy metal if there wasn't a first wave of heavy metal? Because there was a first wave of British heavy metal that included Deep Purple and Budgie and Rainbow and all those different. Black Sabbath, of course, and Judas Priest, and all those different bands. Maybe even Motorhead. Motorhead was a little late for that, but anyhow,
yeah,
it's funny because I've even brought up the thing I on Facebook. I said something about I can't remember which artist I said, but I picked a couple of 50s blues artists, and I said those guys don't sound anything like the modern blues bands, and so therefore, those 50s blues artists, they must not be blues because they don't sound like the modern blues guys, right?
Right.
I'm surprised nobody has brought this one up.
I knew you would, so I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah. That is a perfect album.
Yep.
How about the follow-up? What do you think of the follow-up?
I like the follow-up too, but this was so fresh and new. The Don't Look Back was just sort of an add-on. I mean, it could have been a double album. Let's face it.
Yep, I agree.
But
I think Third Stage is better than the second album.
You do?
I do.
There will be a fight in the parking lot before the day is over.
There's a few songs on Third Stage I like, but overall I found that album not as strong as the first two, and then they just dropped off the map after that. I mean, I have other albums by them, but
I remember hearing I hate that they opened the album with Amanda, but for some reason I knew the songs that they were playing off of that album on the radio because they played Amanda, they played Cool the Engines and whatever on the radio back in the day. Well, when I started collecting vinyl 15 years ago, one of the ones I went and got was Third Stage. And I connected hardcore with that album, man. And the second one, I just never connected. Don't Look Back is a great song. You know, there's some killer stuff on there, but man, that first one is perfect. And I think Third Stage is damn near perfect.
I agree again, TJ. You keep hitting them out of the park with Montrose. Here, I got one. Let's see what you think of this one, Carcass, because this is the one that some people hate, and I absolutely love it, and I think it's a perfect album.
It's hard to argue. My namesake.
I know, but most people seem to like the earlier stuff better. This is more melodic.
Not at
which
all.
Is probably why I like it so much. But
I might like the one prior to that one, the Descanting the Insalubrious, whatever that is.
Yep.
I like that one because that began that transition, and Michael Emmett joined the band, and it gave him a little bit of a harder melodic core to him. But Heartwork is the culmination of a lot of transitional hard work.
You know, we should do it in a future episode. Maybe we can do it next week. We should do albums that we're doing perfect albums this week. Maybe albums that people hate but you like.
Oh,
yeah, that'd be a good one.
Hey, speaking of which, TJ Lewis, that first Montrose record, Sammy Hagar and his blistering vocals, and
yeah, that's the best he ever was. That's the best Sammy Hagar album ever. He never did anything as good as that album, in my opinion.
Paper Money's not bad either, but then he bailed after that, and
yep.
And then he became very commercial and made a lot of money.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that stuff he did afterwards is bad, even the stuff in Van Halen and stuff like that. But as far as if I was to pick one album that Sammy Hagar that I think is absolutely fantastic, it's that first Montrose.
Yep.
Every song in there is a winner.
Yep.
And there's a new vinyl version of that out. If you guys don't know that, it's a 2-album set. The first album is the studio album. The second album is their first ever live performance over the radio.
That was
really,
in the Electric
really
Lady. Was that the LA record plant or the
yeah, I can't remember.
Ladyland
Basically,
Studios?
some other big band was supposed to play, and they had the slot to fill. So they're like, "Hey, you guys want to play it?" And so they jumped in and played it. But I have to read it. It's been a while, but anyhow.
So Stevens chimes in with Pride from White Lion. I couldn't agree more. If you want a 80s hair metal, whatever you want to call it, piece of perfection, that's a really good one. And I'm telling you, if you want the person that, in my opinion, from the 80s that could jump out of a band and could have jumped into Van Halen to do an admirable job of filling Eddie's shoes, Vito Bratta.
That dude is a bad motor scooter for sure,
man. And he's got that style so freaking good. But I think he was overlooked because White Lion was pretty, and they had videos, and they were pretty, and they had spandex pants, and they were pretty, But man, those guys could play their asses off. And let's not forget, James Lomenzo ended up in Megadeth, for crying out loud, and the drummer was in Anthrax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy's got chops. There's no doubt about it.
Tyler 2071. I nearly pulled that album too. I love Welcome to My Nightmare. It's one of my all-time favorite albums. Again, I didn't pull it because I thought we were mostly sticking to metal, but
what about Billion Dollar Babies? How does that hold up against that one?
Yep, Billion Dollar Babies is right up there at the top of the list for me.
I like that one too. The second Schenker record, the MST.
The first 2 Schenker records are perfection, in my opinion.
Okay,
I like them both. Speaking of classic, how about this one?
Man, boy, I gotta tell you, I started with those dudes on Balls to the Wall, and I never expanded as far as I should have.
This album blows Balls to the Wall away, in my opinion.
What's on it?
It's got one of the very early speed metal thrash songs in Fast as a Shark, Restless and Wild, Head of the Pack, Shake Your Heads, Neon Nights, Get Ready, Demon Nights, Flash Rockin' Man, Don't Go Stealing My Soul, and Princess of the Dawn.
Okay, see, I know about 4 of those songs, probably from, well, I've owned that, but I don't remember.
It's got a couple different covers. This is the European cover. This is on Brain.
Scott Beatley
Brain.
is correct, by the way.
Anyhow, I love Accept. Actually, I could have, if you get away from the Udo stuff, I actually almost pulled this one too, and I have it right behind me. So
Hey,
I'll go
Scott,
pull it.
check this out.
Oh, right on. Damage
So
Faith.
Scott Beatley is the guy that got us. This is something Troy sent me a million years ago, a CDR, and it may or may not have been remastered. That's a great album. That's a fantastic
I'm saying.
album.
I think if all the Mark albums that he's done so far, what, 5 of them?
Yeah.
This is my
gosh.
favorite of them. I mean,
That is good.
Hodges. Yes,
And
sir.
that's
beat the
Stuart Hodges for the one.
Beat the Bastards, Teutonic Terrors on here.
Yep.
That's a
Title
great
track.
record. Yep. I think all those records that Mark has been on are great.
I wouldn't call Blood of the Nations perfect, but man, it is good. I would call Sabotage Hall of the Mountain King perfect. That would go in the box of the 10 or 20. This is heavy metal. That goes right in there, the whole album. And I'm stepping off the metal page a little bit. This is going to be a little bit of a curveball. I don't know what you guys think about Clutch. Not only is this my favorite Clutch album, this is a perfect record. And I know y'all are going to fight me, and that's okay.
Nope.
I'm not going to fight
There's
you.
nothing wrong with that.
I'm not going to break a sweat over a crappy record.
I was going to say that one.
Rock You to Hell or Grim Reaper?
Rock You to Hell is a perfect traditional heavy metal album from start to finish. You're correct.
How about
He wins.
Sepultura Arise?
Tell him what he's won, Carcass.
You've won a free sticker from the Metal Roundtable of your
If you live in
choice.
the US.
If you live in the U.S.
Yeah, I'm not mailing stickers overseas, but I love you guys.
If you don't, I'll email you the image and you can make your own stickers.
I also agree with Mark Field's Agent Steel's Unstoppable Force.
Dude.
I got one here that maybe most people wouldn't pick, but I think it's fantastic. Start to finish.
Oh, dude. Yep. We're picking all the ones that are right here close to me. That's funny.
I could go with the first. I could have gone with the first album too, but
I like
This
this
one's
one
got-
better.
I think I do too. I don't know why, because I like them both. But Red Shark is just.
Oh,
I mean, if you were to do a compilation of the best heavy metal songs ever, that would have to go on there.
oh, dude, yeah. This thing, oh my gosh. That's
Okay.
a good one, dude. Yeah,
Anybody?
we could do this all day.
Yep,
Oh,
absolutely.
okay,
You could
Scott.
pull a lot of the Death albums, and I wouldn't argue with you.
I really like this one because it's a little more cosmic and melodic. It's got some atmosphere to it. It's got the dudes from Cynic, Sean Reinhart and Paul Masvidal. And I think is Gene Hoglan playing drums? Or is that? I don't remember. I just love this record because it's got atmosphere and it's
I think Gene plays on. Doesn't Gene play on Individual Thought Patterns?
yeah, he
pretty
does.
sure
I think that's somebody else.
So I don't even know. I've heard of the 69 Eyes, but I've never heard them. So I need to go add that on Spotify so I can listen to it. Symbol
Yes.
of Salvation, excellent.
Rob Whitlock with the Armored Saints.
My perfect Armored Saint album, which I know nobody's going to agree with, is Delirious Nomad. And I imagine that's because this is what got me into the band. I freaking love this thing. But man, those prior two are just so good. Man, yeah, I like this one the best. I think this is a perfect traditional metal record. And I'm lucky to have it signed by the band when Richie barbecued for them. Except for
Yay.
Miss John Bush. Oh, Scott. Boom.
I'd pick that one too. I love that album. Only one I like, only Dirty Looks album I like better than that is In Your Face.
Man, I don't think I like another one better, but the other one that desperately needs to be reissued
Yes.
is just as solid.
Yes, it does.
This is a perfect album. So
Blue
freaking good.
Tequila. That's a great album. Yep. And it's
Oh,
so hard to
man.
find, and it's not it's never been available on vinyl.
Yep.
I came in late, so you guys may have already discussed a couple of these, but my perfect albums are Asia, AJA,
Yep.
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 Steely Dan.
British Steel. You know, I was trying to think of a Judas Priest album to show on this one, and I love British Steel, but man, there's 2 songs in there that just annoy the piss out of me, and it's because they're just so damn overplayed.
Yeah.
But anyhow. And then I agree with this one as well, especially if you go Twisted Sister Under the Blade, especially if you go with the original Secret mix, which is really raw and nasty and poorly recorded, which is gives it adds charm to it. It's like those early Venom records or the early Raven records. The rawness the of the recording actually adds to the appeal. That doesn't always happen. Like I think the first Megadeth album is hard to listen to because it's so bad. But like the first Raven record, Rock Until You Drop, that's basically recorded live in a studio, and it's fantastic.
Hey, by the way,
Not-
Mark Fields, Sean Reinert played drums. He was in Cynic.
Not metal. I got one right here. It's not metal. What do you think?
Hey,
What do y'all think?
Overnight Sensation is sensational, and I love a witch arriving too late to say, or a ship arriving too late to save a drowning witch. That's a good one. Apostrophe is probably my favorite Zappa, and I didn't pull it because I ran out of time.
I like Overnight Sensation. Dynamo home, Dynamo home.
Yeah.
$40 can't make me. I'll just be quiet now.
Yes, you will, because you're going to get yourself in trouble.
Yeah.
How about this one?
I've never heard it.
What?
I've never heard it
There's
either.
Songs on it.
You've never heard the first Cheap Trick album?
Nope.
I want
I know you
want
said-
me, Scott.
What?
I want you to want me. That's all I've ever heard. I've heard that. That's the Cheap Trick.
This album is definitely their heaviest, hardest rocking. It's produced by Jack Douglas, who produced all the 70s Aerosmith records
Oh yeah.
around the same time as this, so it's got that kind of vibe. I love this record. But then my favorite Cheap Trick record is The Dream Police. And to me, this is a perfect record. I love every song on here. I just played this past weekend in my car and played it while I was working. So played it twice in 1 week.
Yes, live albums count, and
Hey,
so
hey,
does
Of course.
Oh, I knew he was going to go King's X. Ugh.
Yeah, you could have gone with any of the first 4 King's X, and I would have agreed with that.
I think this was their standout. This is just a musical clinic in
Is
songwriting.
that Gretchen Goes to Hollywood or whatever?
Nebraska.
To
Oh.
Nebraska. Oh my gosh, this thing. I rode 1,000,000 miles mowing lawns, or mowing a lawn in Wyoming on this ranch I used to live on, working for this doctor. And dude, I played this 1,000,000,000 times.
Hey, I bet you would have mowed the lawn a lot faster if you listened to this.
Yeah, I bet you're right.
But this is one of my favorite grindcore albums of all times, and yes, I do like the Repulsion, and I do like the Terrorizer World Downfall. But this, to me, start to finish, 20 tracks of blistering Gulf Coast grind. You cannot go wrong with Insect Warfare. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to bring us one. Oh, yeah, this is a good one. Right? Yeah, that's a good. Yeah.
Yep.
Now,
Absolutely.
I'm going to bring us very, very, very current. And this is not an ass-kissing mission. What turned me on to this was Carcass talking about it. We had him on the show. But then I heard it. And this thing has elevated to maybe my top, I would say definitely my top 40 or 50 of all time. I know that's a lot to say. This thing.
Oh, I thought for sure it was going to be Ozric Tentacles.
Holy crap. So good. And the production is out of this world. The songs are killer. The vocals are killer. 10 out of 10. Every note is perfect. Everything they do serves the song. It's just, my gosh, this thing is a monster album.
Even the album cover looks killer.
Yeah,
That's a 10 out of 10.
Some 2-bit jackass on a metal YouTube show probably did this. Am I right?
I had my moment of genius with that, and it just worked.
Oh my gosh, that thing is so good.
Damien, you
So,
like Porno Graffiti better than Three Sides to Every Story? I love Three Sides to Every Story, but
I think the first Extreme is their best. I don't think it's a perfect album, but everybody likes this one. Yeah, a lot of people talk about that. Um, Integrity 101, Reinventing the Steel is a perfect heavy metal album. I also think Power Metal from 1988 is a perfect heavy metal album. Heaven and Hell, yes, absolutely. And Rainbow Rising, yes, 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 yes. I don't disagree with any of that. But I think Reinventing the Steel is a sleeper for people, but that thing is fucking perfection. I'm excited.
you have to put $1 in the swear jar.
Fraser.
I thought we froze.
No, I'm sorry. Our buddy the Hammer is calling me in the middle of the show.
Oh, well, take the call.
Should I call him back?
Yeah. See what he wants.
I know what he wants. It's hanging on my wall and it's going to cost him.
Okay, Scott, while Carcass is negotiating a deal,
Is that the first one?
it's the second one. I think it's better than the first one by a mile. I mean, they sing about, oh my God, Vikings, and just it's perfect. It's before he got out of control with the over the top. I mean, he was over the top on this. He was great, but it still was within the context of songs and
What's
an
up,
album,
dude?
and not just for an hour. But I think this is a perfect heavy metal record. I got to put it in the top 20 heavy metal box set.
Excuse me. Yeah, I like that album a lot too. I like the first two. I could have gone with either one of them myself.
Oh man, Tyler, you know what? I have never heard that album all the way through. Heard a song or two off of it. And I agree, Nils, that is the perfect Yngwie sound. That's what I was trying to say. He has a bunch of great records, especially early, in my opinion. But that one was so great, and I missed seeing them that early. I didn't see him until, well, the only time I saw him was on the Odyssey tour. And it was great. But man, that second album is just phenomenal.
I saw him with Alcatraz, and then I saw him on his very first tour, the Rape and Pillage tour '85. Still have the tour button from it. But anyhow,
I've got one.
7
that is
minutes
going
to
make you guys pull my metal credentials, and I don't care. This is a perfect pop metal mid '80s album.
I just can't get into that one. I like the first two Europe a lot. That one I just, gosh, it's just so poppy.
It's kind of their Black album, you know. It's the one that really put them over the top. But it hit me, man. I love that style of stuff. I think every song on it is great. I know it's weak for you guys, but I love it.
Am I muted? Check. Microphone check. No, am I back on?
No, you're not muted.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to
Anyway.
talk about Dokken.
Dokken?
Yeah.
How about we talk about this?
Okay. I don't know. Somebody mentioned who did A Blaze in the Northern Sky.
No, that wasn't
It wasn't
Immortal.
That was, somebody mentioned it earlier.
I as much as I like Damned in Black and Sons of Northern Darkness, man, At the Heart of Winter it's one of those transition records, kind of like Carcass Heartwork, where it was a changing of the guard in their sound, and I mean, you feel like you're sitting on a cold cliff with the Black Sea just washing giant waves everywhere. But anyway, that's
Slayer,
a 10 for me.
No Mercy, agreed 100%. The self-titled LA Guns, agree 100%. My brother Kane's pretty damn salty. It was Dark Throne, yes. Blackout.
Yes.
What is it?
Nils, I like having an advocate in the crowd.
Before we move on from this one, I have a question.
Okay.
What is that thing on the front cover?
It's
A
guy
Sasquatch
playing
with a
guitar.
gun?
I don't know. I don't even know where mine is at the moment, if I even have it up here. I don't have it right here.
Looks
I don't know.
like
I think it's
it's a guy shooting a gun, but it's a back view of him.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. Or it's a Sasquatch.
I've never
Sasquatch.
never
It's
thought
Bigfoot.
about it. I bet we could get an answer to that.
I bet we could.
Hey, do you know those guys?
I don't know them. I know a couple. I'm acquainted with a couple of guys that are in the reformed version. Yes.
Okay.
Bass player and drummer.
Diary of a Madman is correct. Creatures of the Night. Interesting.
Yeah, I'll go with that. That's a great album. Not a bad song on it, in my opinion. I'll go with ZZ Top Tres Hombres too. Solid album
Okay.
all the way through. Yep, I'll take Blackout, Scorpions, Feel the Fire, Overkill. Yep. Yes, Grand Funk. That's a great album.
I saw a picture of.
That's nothing but a jam.
I saw a picture of Chris Manning the other day with Bruce Kulick at a Grand Funk show the other night. And Bruce had signed Chris's albums because he played on them. That was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. No Aerosmith record, Scott?
Yeah.
Oh,
I did not pull the Aerosmith albums out. Again,
okay. So if you're picking one, what is it?
Rocks.
Amen, brother.
But I could go anywhere from Get Your Wings all the way through Draw the Line, in my opinion.
Zeppelin. See?
Nothing.
Yep.
Huh?
If we ever do the show about bands that everybody loves and we just don't get, Led Zeppelin will be at the top of my list.
Yep, Pink Floyd would make my list as well. I love that band. I don't know if Wish You Would Hear would be my album. I really love the early Psych stuff. So
I think Animals or The Wall or
Animals.
Dark Side of the Moon could all be perfect albums.
Somebody asked about live albums.
Yeah.
Band of Gypsies.
There's a perfect one right there.
Band of Gypsies. And did you know there's a second volume to this called Band of Gypsies 2?
Yes, there is.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Skid
There
Row.
you go, John.
Shockingly, I have it.
This is one to keep an eye out for. This is a great album.
My guy keeps coming through with the perfect heavy metal 80s stuff.
This is John Peel Sessions 1970.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Scott, we've had this discussion, and as much as I love Outer Limits, this is what got me into Voivod right here.
Yeah, well, I love that album too, so you won't get an argument from me.
But I do love Outer Limits. Outer Limits might be one of the greatest rock records ever. Anyway, Dimension Hatros, love that record. Are we getting down to brass tacks at 6:00, isn't it?
Yeah, we are.
Yes, it
and I
is.
want to mention something real quick. If you live in the United States and you want to email me, I am metalrob@gmail.com. Just like you would say it in a sentence. I am metalrob@gmail.com. If you want to email me your mailing address in the United States, please, I will send you a Metal Roundtable sticker, and I'll throw in some other sticker goodies too. Somebody, I think, got an Osric Tentacle sticker, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Yep. I think so. Well, is that it?
Oh, heck no. How about this?
That's all I pulled. Yeah, that's a rock and roll classic right there.
They're on my list of bands I don't get.
Oh my no! Well, I don't get them either. But this record in particular, that's why I don't get them. Okay.
I don't get Led Zeppelin.
Here, let's steer way out of the metal lane.
Yeah, man, love that.
No.
You could put Wired up there as well.
I don't know what it is.
Okay. Well,
I've seen it cover a million times.
Then I'm not even going to show you this one because even Sepultura covered a couple songs on this record. Anyway, that's all I have. Oh, did you see my Osric Tentacles collection?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure those are all those perfect albums over there.
That's right. Oh, I was gonna try to.
You
grab
definitely have a
some-
multiplicity of Ozark Tentacle
I
records.
do have a multiplicity of those.
That's right. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's the deal. I just can't think. Yeah, email me, send me your address, and I'll send you some stickers. All right, boys, that is it for episode 189 of the Metal Roundtable. Any parting shots?
Yeah, thanks to all the people that were actually, listing albums on the, on the side. That was awesome. You guys picked some killer records.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh, yeah.
I
we
knew
love-
I would miss it. I knew I would miss a couple, but I didn't realize how many I missed actually. Starting with Steely Dan Asia.
Yeah. Hang on. Sorry, I got screwed up there. Okay, there we go. I'm on the wrong tab, like always, production value. Cool. Well, you can follow me on Instagram at Metal Rob's Records. You can follow the Carcass on Instagram at Carcass John Art. You can follow Scott on Instagram at No Life Till Metal. You can also find him on YouTube by simply searching Scott Waters and checking out his channel that has 1 billion viewers.
And a half.
Shout out to mediatech.edu campuses in Dallas and Houston. They just had a big open house last weekend, and I saw one of our listeners in the photos, which is pretty cool. So if you want to get into all things AV media production, go check out mediatech.edu. If you want a sticker, email me your address in the US. I am metalrob@gmail.com. We love you so much. And until next time, you know how we do it. Metal will
prevail.
It's true. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
We got some Megadeth CDs over here.